Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Our mission is always to get to the core knowledge from your sources and turn that dense material into something you can really use.
And today we are digging into some powerful frameworks for persistence and stability. They're from
Yeah.
Frederica Carrier, who's known as the SNEAC Intrastructure Pioneer.
That name, infrastructure, that's our first clue right there.
It is. We have these sources that are all about converting really high-level, sometimes abstract ideas like intentional joy or even faith into, practical functional steps you can take every day.
So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack how she does that, how she builds this durable architecture for mental, physical, and spiritual health.
Exactly. And she uses a surprisingly simple toolkit of acronyms. We're looking at P.R.A.Y.E.R, M.O.P, and SNEAC, and we're not just defining the letters,
No.
we're figuring out how they actually work together as a whole system.
I really appreciate that focus.
Yeah.
Because the immediate takeaway for me was that Carrier insists the extraordinary starts with the incredibly ordinary.
Yes.
Her whole philosophy seems to hinge on this belief that we have access to stability right here, right now.
And that the biggest barrier is just failing to see the resources we already have. It's a reminder that resilience is built on these small, daily, accessible choices, not some huge, infrequent breakthrough.
So this whole architecture is designed to anchor you when life, inevitably starts to shift around you.
Exactly.
So let's start with that foundational mindset. She calls it the starter prompt. Most self-help models, they start by asking you to find inspiration, right? To look for a signal.
And she just flips that entirely. She argues it's almost funny to go looking for external cues.
Why wait for a prompt?
Right. Why? She views her entire existence as the starter prompt. The sources are so clear on this. Wonder is inherent. You access it through the 5, sometimes 6 senses you're already using every day.
So you don't need a mountain retreat to find perspective.
No, you just need to lean in and appreciate the sheer fact of your own presence.
That makes the whole structure immediately egalitarian. The building blocks are available to everyone.
And tied directly to that is her core concept of chosen joy. Joy, in her system, is not a byproduct of good things happening.
It's not a feeling. It's a choice.
It's a practical choice that provides structural strength to withstand challenges. Think of it like a structural beam you install inside yourself, regardless of whether the outside walls are swaying.
Which brings us to this personal mantra that I find both disarming and really profound. Do it with Giggles.
It sounds lighthearted, doesn't it?
It does. But she uses it functionally.
It's deeply functional. Giggles, as she defines them, are powerful, they're healing, they're innate. It's an unstoppable, defiant physiological response.
They just bubble up.
They bubble up from a place that circumstances can't really touch. So choosing to act with Giggles, even when you're struggling, that's her posture against the chaos.
It's a deliberate refusal to let external darkness define the texture of your internal experience. It's like the ultimate short circuit to negative feedback loops.
Yeah. And this intentional use of joy and humor, it connects to her view of time itself. She encourages us to cherish every second.
Because there are no small moments.
There are no small moments in life. If you acknowledge your life as the starter prompt, then every moment is a chance to build that internal structure. She uses this lovely analogy about sharing kindness.
The sugar and honey.
This is the one. Making what is already good inherently sweeter. It's a physical illustration of how these small, deliberate choices, a shared giggle, an act of kindness, ripple out and build stability for everyone.
So we've got the mindset. The world's a prompt. Joy is a choice of strength. Now we get into her core framework, the structure to move from that choice to actual results.
Yeah.
P.R.A.Y.E.R.
Right. So P.R.A.Y.E.R stands for positive release, available, yielding exponential results.
Okay, that immediately sounds like a lot. How does a simple framework yield exponential results?
It's defined as a catalyst. It takes an ordinary place, an ordinary situation, and it just adds that extra bit of intentionality, and that's what turns it into the extraordinary.
She uses that analogy, the one that links the abstract to the biological.
Prayer is like rain. It falls on everyone. Sometimes it's a downpour, sometimes a drizzle, but it's always beneficial. And to make it personal, she reminds us our bodies are 65 to 70% water.
So it's a foundational element of our existence.
Right. The P.R.A.Y.E.R process is just recognizing and then leveraging this constant necessary resource.
Okay, let's focus on that positivity. She ties it directly to perseverance.
She does. She defines the first as the function of the second. Positivity is not just, an outward signal. It's not a forced smile.
Although she does talk about the biological benefits of just smiling.
She does, but fundamentally for Carrier, positivity is a function that when you do it consistently, it translates into perseverance over time.
And you develop it by making those small daily choices we talked about. The smile, the giggle, choosing joy, finding simple gratitude in the ordinary. Okay, but here's the part I think is challenging. I can hear you listening and thinking, what about the days when that positive release feels completely impossible, when you're just overwhelmed?
And that's a crucial question. She addresses this by insisting that positivity is fluid, not static. It's not about maintaining the same high energy every single day.
So what was positive yesterday might not feel attainable today.
Right, but the foundation, the architecture of it all, that remains the same. She's very explicit. Positive is stability.
So when faced with chaos, she says you look full on at the storm, you stay fully present, but you're defiant.
You are defiant. You choose not to succumb to the waves because the structure you built, that P.R.A.Y.E.R foundation, it gives you an internal choice. It gives you faith.
So the structure lets you choose defiance, which is really choosing perseverance. I think the oxygen mask analogy she uses really clarifies its dual role.
It does. In a crisis, positivity can be that quick burst strapping on the oxygen mask for immediate help. That's survival.
But its deeper role is perseverance.
Yes. It's the comfort you find in the practical principle. The knowledge that because you have this framework, you can outlast and endure any challenge to your resolve. It's all about posturing yourself for what comes next.
Recognizing that life isn't just a sprint.
No, it's the walk, the sitting, the rolling, and the stillness. And you need structure for all of it.
Okay, we've set up the P.R.A.Y.E.R mindset. Now we need to bridge that to simple, actionable gratitude. Because she says that simple gratitude is the bedrock of your ability to pivot.
It's paramount. The transformative ability of simple gratitude is she believes it's always available. It's just waiting for you to reach for it.
And it doesn't need to be complex.
None at all. The simple act of attaining that gratitude affects the entire trajectory of your journey. It is the physical manifestation of that positive release principle.
This is where we get those examples that sound almost trivial at first, like making a paper airplane or using a spot on the wall. We need to explain why those are actually structurally powerful.
They're powerful because there are simple, tangible actions that interrupt the chaos. The physiological change from a smile is immediate, sure, but an action like making a paper airplane and just tossing it.
Or using a designated place on the wall to reset.
Those are physical anchors. They force a momentary break in the pattern of stress. They are deliberate 10-second resets that solidify the idea that you are in control of the next moment. They are simple, but absolutely not simplistic.
They're the tactical implementation of P.R.A.Y.E.R.
That's it.
And this emphasis on simple, practical anchors leads us right to the MOP framework,
Yes.
which, frankly, came from the most mundane of chores.
Yes, MOP. It stands for motivated, opportunity, purpose. And it came from a realization she had while, yes, mopping a floor, a chore that's often tedious and messy.
I think the reason this one resonates so much in the sources is just how relatable it is.
Yeah.
Mopping is often this thankless task you do after a mess has already happened.
And that's the insight. She realized she had the right tool, the mop, to clean the mess and change the state of the floor. And that physical realization translated into a life principle.
The mess will happen.
The mess will happen, but if you are motivated to seize the right opportunities, you will align with your true purpose. It's about making sure your tool set matches your intention.
And the power there is consistency, right? It doesn't matter if she's mopping the kitchen or the hallway. The tool and the action get the same outcome.
And her core statement just summarizes it perfectly. Life is less messy when I MOP. It's such a beautifully simple frame for proactive living.
You have the tool, you clean the mess, and that physical alignment of action and intention reinforces your bigger purpose.
It's an immediate, tangible success that then feeds right back into that positive release cycle.
So we have the mindset, P.R.A.Y.E.R., and the action layer, MOP, and gratitude. But all of this needs an overarching management system, a structure to make sure these practices are processed and applied, especially when helping others.
And that brings us to the ultimate architecture, SNEAC infrastructure.
SEEZ.
SNEAC is the foundational glue, you could say. It's the operating system. It's the approach she uses to process data, distill knowledge, and make sure these principles can be transferred.
So what does it stand for?
It's support, nurture, encourage, affirm, and creativity.
This is where we see the system really move from just personal perseverance to a shared methodology. How do those 5 elements actually function with everything else we've talked about?
They're the feedback loops. When you're performing your MOP, you are applying support, you're providing structure, and you're nurturing your own mental health.
And encourage and affirm. That's about stabilizing that positive posture, right? Reminding yourself of past successes to get through the present.
Exactly. And creativity is the core of her entire model. It's the ability to see a paper airplane or a mop and translate that into a universal life principle.
So SNEAC is the mechanism for transformation. It takes that simple, practical MOP action and elevates it, making sure the insight isn't just kept personally, but is applied systemically.
That's absolutely right. SNEAC is what ensures that the positive release doesn't just stop at personal relief. It turns that energy into something that benefits the entire surrounding environment. It connects her personal pursuit of perseverance to a scalable, actionable model.
Without SNEAC, P.R.A.Y.E.R. and MOP might just stay as isolated habits.
With it, they become a transferable, enduring methodology.
Okay, so let's circle back to you, the listener. What is the essential integration of all of Carrier's work?
I think the key integration is this seamless transition between the abstract and the measurable. She doesn't just tell you to be positive.
Yeah.
She gives you a structural framework, P.R.A.Y.E.R., and then she gives you the specific practical actions, the giggles, the paper airplane, the MOP principle, to actually execute that structure.
So it turns perseverance into an engineering problem that you can solve daily.
Pretty much.
The final analysis, then, is that her reliance on these acronyms gives you tangible anchors. These are structures designed for building stability, for enduring life's ups and downs, and for posturing yourself correctly for whatever comes next.
Absolutely. She provides an architecture for endurance. It's a testament to the idea that the right mindset, paired with the right simple tool, can handle any mess that comes your way.
And this raises an important and I think provocative thought for you to carry forward. Carrier emphasizes that the function of positivity, that core stability, has to provide the same foundation regardless of your environment. You might be in a chaotic office one day, a peaceful park the next.
The environment's always shifting.
It's always shifting. So if that's true, how can you identify and commit to your own right tool, your own MOP, that ensures your purpose and stability remain consistent? Think about what you reach for that is simple, practical, and ensures stability, even when everything around you changes.